Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello, and welcome back to day 2 of the Breaking Ties interview series, where we talk with a professional who assists those in the divorce space getting through, life's changes with the divorce. And we really look to answer a lot of questions and common concerns you may have as a listener. Now, I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And with us this week, we are lucky to have Chris Lunardini. He is a divorce attorney with SPYRATOSDAVIS in Lisle, Illinois. And if you missed yesterday's episode, you're going to want to go back and see that because it was really good. There was a lot of good information on getting started with the divorce process that you are going to want to listen to. Welcome back to the podcast, Chris.
Thanks for having me again. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you coming back, and the information you provided yesterday was fantastic. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, we're going to move on with a new set of questions here, and we're going to start with kind of following up the theme from yesterday as far as getting started, and that is when someone does work with an attorney and they found their divorce attorney, what's the attorney going to ask them to bring? What do they need to get prepared to get this process moving?
That's a really good question, and it's actually very helpful. The more you can bring up front, the easier it makes the process down the road. So I think the biggest thing to bring, one, if you've been sued in the divorce process or your spouse has filed the divorce process against you, bring those pleadings, bring the filings that were filed against you. You were served with them, or if you weren't served, but your spouse provided them to you because you were willingly accepting the process to get it going, bring all of that with you to see your attorney. Bring with you as much financial information as you can. Now, no attorney expects that you're going to have it all available for you initially to bring in and open up the case, but as much of it as you can bring in, have it with. Your attorney can make copies of it. We scan it, we save it to our cloud server system, so all the documents are available online and digitally. So as much of it as you bring initially makes the process easier for us to get it later. So bank statements, pay stubs, tax returns, any kind of statements for retirement accounts, all of those types of documents are very helpful initially because not only does it show what's available, but it helps to keep track of what are the accounts out there that have to be divided up as part of the divorce. Whether you think it's actually divorce property or marital property to be divided in the divorce, or you don't, bring it with anyways so your attorney has it and can use it and can access it later. The other thing to do is start having an idea, and you may not have it all chiseled out and all put out at this point, but have an idea of what you think. If you have children, minor children that are involved in the process of the divorce, have an idea of what you think that parenting schedule and that parenting arrangement should look like. So that way you've got something to start working with, talking with your attorney about, and it can start the discussion going. Because oftentimes that can be one of the longer parts of getting a divorce completed. Our firm, our office, we have what we call our firm's intake form, and it's kind of a thumbnail outline that we give to clients to have them fill out that gives us an itemized list of the financial issues, the parenting issues, and any other issues that might be coming up in the divorce. So if you encounter that when you're hiring an attorney, fill that out and get that back to them as soon as possible. So that way they know what are the things they need to get, what are the issues they need to worry about.
Right. And as you and I will agree, the less time with the attorney means the less it costs.
Yes, absolutely. And that is important.
So yeah, being organized really does help. It really helps the process, but I also think it helps the client as well with helping with the decision making and figuring out what they want to have happen or what is important to them at the same time.
Absolutely. And as I most often encounter, one party is going to be the party that has more of the information than the other most often in most divorces, just because that's the way the relationship worked out over the years. So even if you don't have all the information, but you just have an idea, okay, I know we've got 4 retirement accounts out there. I'm not sure exactly where they're all at and who they're all with, but I know we've got 4 of them. That's important. It helps the attorney keep track of what information do they need to get down the line. And the more organized you are, the easier it makes it to start having the discussions about how are things going to get divided up and what is the parenting schedule going to look like with regard to the children. So it's very helpful for not only the attorney, but it's helpful for the client. It's helpful for you as well, because going through that helps you to start organizing in your own head. What do I need to do?
Exactly. Yeah. And you can never be too organized. Now, we got all this information and stuff, and we've talked about this a little bit around in a circle here, which is time. How long is this divorce process going to take? Is there any rhyme or reason to how long a certain case takes?
There is absolutely. I will tell you that the biggest impact on how long a divorce takes is how well the parties can work together. Now, no divorce attorney expects that the parties are going to work really well together and get this done real quick, because otherwise they probably are not going to be getting a divorce. Because if they're getting along that well, it's uncommon to see that in a divorce case. But you got to pick and choose your battles. You've got to understand what are the higher issues, the bigger, more important issues, which ones are the lesser ones. Put your time and your money into the bigger issues, the more important ones to you, not all of them, not all of the small ones. Be ready to prioritize the issues. The better you can prioritize, the easier it makes the process, the easier it makes it for people to start talking. Most divorces, especially in the suburban counties, they're going to take about a year to a year and a half to get done. They can be done quicker if the parties get on the same page and start working through some of the issues together. I've had divorces get done in about 3 to 4 months. So it really is going to depend on how well the parties work together. But you can probably plan about a year. That's probably a good thumbnail sketch and idea of how long a divorce takes. If the parties really can't get an agreement and they're really at wit's end and kind of battling it out with each other on some of the issues because they just can't reach an agreement, whether it's one party's fault or the other party's fault, it can take upwards of a year and a half to even 2 years to get a divorce done. Parties have to be ready for that. If you're in a big county like Cook County, their court system is already very full with cases. So as a result, cases are just going to take longer to begin with because of that. So be prepared for that. It may take a couple extra months just because you're in Cook County. Smaller suburban county, you're going to have a little bit more leeway with the judge's calendar, and you'll be able to get things in and get moving a little more quickly. So you have to be aware of that too. It oftentimes is not the attorneys that is causing a case to take time with scheduling. It's very often a judge's, the court's position on the case. The courts and the judges do have their own calendars. They have to work in and work around. So your case is not the only one on their docket.
Exactly. You're not the only 2 people getting a divorce. So, but yeah, I mean, I never really thought about different court systems having different scheduling and lengths of time depending on how busy they are. So that's a really interesting tidbit, I think. Now, that's really going to wrap up day 2 here today. And this is a 5-part series. So if you haven't listened to yesterday's episode, please go back and check it out. Chris gave some fantastic information then, as he did today. I mean, this is interesting stuff. I always like learning about things, even though, it is divorce and it's not, really that cheerful of a topic, if you will. But it is still interesting information that I think many people and listeners can use. So once again, we would like to thank you for joining us today. If you have questions for Chris, his information's in the description for the episode, so feel free to drop him a line or shoot him an email. He's definitely going to help you out and return with some good information there. And we're going to see you tomorrow. So you're going to come back as we have a new set of questions for Chris tomorrow to answer and get some great, fantastic information again. Chris and I would like to thank you. And remember, divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Have yourself a great day. Take care.
Have a good day.